Officially live, okay? This is a special edition of Talk with Marie Live. I have Dr. Renee here, back, back on the show.
Hey,
You also on Wisdom at the same time. Can you believe it? Simultaneously. So we're on multiple platform. I am Marie,
okay.
your wellness coach. And I'm excited to have Dr. Renee Tengella, who is an educator and author, yogi, so many titles, but we're going to stay there. And today, in honor of its
Yes.
World Sleep Day, okay? But also in celebration of pointing, we should be sleeping right now, in celebration of that, to truly
Yes.
honor that. So, we are going to be talking about our favorite topic, wellness, self care. And now there's a new
Yes.
tradition on the show where I want to ask you, what did you do
Mm,
for self care today, just for Renee? What did you do?
yes. Well, hello everyone. I Today I made the decision to
Mm.
take my kids outside because I was
Okay.
teaching today. Got some fresh air. We played outside, and I came home and took a bath.
What? A
I know
bath.
I never do that. I never do that. I don't know why, but
Oh my
I just said, and also because me and my sister went walking the other day, and I said, I don't feel that. And then today, I felt it. So I said, let me just try to move them bones a little bit more so they won't just stay there. And so
God.
it actually, when I took that bath, it went away, like whatever that was.
And you're like, I decided. I decided.
Yes, got to
Conscious
go.
decision. So that's great. And this is just for you. I think getting sunshine, getting vitamin D, and today was unusually warm for
It's
the
nice.
climate that we are in. So I don't know.
Yes, it
Glad
was. It
you
was
enjoyed
nice.
it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And so, but I want to really for us to focus on how we're practicing self care and how we're doing it intentionally every single day,
Yep.
and and making it a habit. And that's
Yes.
the reason even the work that you do, I want to remind our viewers, tell them a little bit about you in terms of your work as an educator, but also how you've come to now be prioritizing your health, because sometimes people assume the way you are now is the way you've always been, sort of like I am the yogi, like I eat. They probably think you eat vegetables all the time. You sleep 8 hours a day. You're never tired. But tell them the real deal. Like, how did you come to this
Yeah.
realization of saying, you know what, I want to improve my health. I want to do better, and I want to make Renee
It's an
healthy.
everyday. It's an everyday. It's an everyday walk. You never like have a ride, boom, I'm healthy and there's nothing else you got to do. It's every day. Like I've been teaching for 22 years and just felt like instead of me being able to give all of myself, I was just giving pieces of myself. And then
Mm,
when I got home, I had nothing left for nobody else. And so I just had to kind of shift that narrative to believe that I gotta first balance my day out where I'm not like drained by the end of the day. So now I make sure that I these steps at work they kill me, but I make sure I do those steps like 2 3 times a day. Sure I got my water. I had my water today. Make sure that I am stretching and active with the kids because all of that helps me to be better. We take breathing breaks, all those things that I talk about and preach about. And these are the things I do just to help me stay sane, stay healthy, stay well during these times. And so, yeah, those are things that I have learned over the last 22 years. An educator is that you got to put yourself first. You got to put yourself first. You can't put yourself first. You can't put the mask on yourself first. You cannot give anything to anybody
yes.
else.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
every human, right, to really do that. But especially as women, I think we are conditioned again. I think our reflex is to probably save the babies first, save the other person first, and then
It
if I'm
is.
still here, put on them. But we
Right.
train ourselves, we condition, unlearn these habits, these negative habits of putting
Right.
ourselves last. And I think um we
Yeah.
learning, I think, even as adults, because other people are watching, the kids are watching, but we're also doing things that we were taught how to do, whether consciously or unconsciously, in terms of why we're doing it, but also
Yeah.
realizing the work that you do. Like many of us, as you know, a work, not a work, our jobs are killing us, right? Regardless of what you're doing. And that was a pre existing condition before the pandemic. Sometimes we think it is the pandemic, but
Yes,
it's not the pandemic. I think
it
the
was.
pandemic
Yeah.
just exacerbated, but I think we were already in that path
Yeah.
in terms of people are overworked, overstressed, and they don't take enough time. They don't take vacation. We see vacation as a luxury. And I'm speaking for myself in terms of, I think this year is going to mark probably like my fifth anniversary of like my health reset. And it took, losing my aunt, my mom to different health issues to
Yeah.
say, you know what, you're going to be next if you don't make some changes. But also the idea of
Yes.
being an example to our children. And I'm like, okay, it's not an excuse. And I can't say do as I say versus like, okay, how am I doing? How am I being?
Yeah.
How am I being
Right.
healthy as a way to really
It's
make that
true.
part of my family and part of my lifestyle? It's not something we do. Like I know right now a lot of people are like, I gotta fit into something for summer or for spring or get whatever.
Get that body.
That body needs
Snatch
support
that body.
every
Snatch it.
every season. Every season you should be thinking about how am I fueling my body, how I'm mining my
Yeah.
mind. Because a lot of things is really those thoughts in our environment. Like, you're fortunate you have a place where you can go walk outside, you can get some sunshine, and it's a
Yeah.
great thing. And then some people they may not have access to that. But just the idea of thinking about how the journey to our wellness, right? Our wellness
Yeah.
journey to now to be able to say, you know what, I decided I'm going to do this. I decide that I'm, you know, worthy of taking care of myself, of putting myself first, because a
Right.
lot of people feel guilty. I'm meeting also, not just women, like men also do that. They have those habits of, you know, some where they're still saying, you know what, let me do this for my family, let me do that, and then when I finish with the job, with the whatever, then I'll come back and do some other things. So how are you
Yeah.
teaching people in your space how to practice, how to be well without guilt? uh,
Well, that's a good one. That's a really good
mhm.
question because
Or how you doing it
it's a,
without guilt, because again,
I
as a
know
parent.
it's first of all it's a mindset thing. Like it's a mind trip and game we've been put on that we gotta do this and be busy doing this and that. And I'm like, and it's taken me years. I mean, I'm just learning this. Like I'm just learning that no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to run that errand. I don't have to go and get this extra. And particularly now that I told my daughter this 5 years ago. I said, "Now I just want to be able to order my groceries and go pick them up curbside, put in my trunk." And now that's everywhere. You
It's
can have to go into the store. You can just order it. Let it be on your. My first time ordering groceries was last week,
really.
and I know you probably think you're crazy. No, I like to see my stuff before I put it in the bag. I had issue, but I had the mindset to know those same strawberries you get from Whole Foods or wherever you go.
Mhm.
Ask somebody else to do that for you this time. It was the best thing. Like Saturday morning, my groceries were already done. I had to spend an hour or two going to the grocery store. I
Sure.
paid for it. So like that. So just having a mind shift, like this is important. This is a priority. That I am important. Without me, a lot of people, a lot of things would not be in existence. So
Mhm.
just knowing that you have the value, that you deserve it first, and not I can't say don't feel guilty about it because you may, but just feel it and release it. Say no, I matter. I matter. I know my kids matter, but feel it and you release it and breathe it.
Sit,
Breathe it on
release,
out. Breathe it
release.
on out. Yep.
That's
It's
a good, so that's
hard,
a
but
great
it's true.
that's a great tip. I may have
Yeah.
to check to see if there's something on. I feel like I'm hearing an echo. Um, do you have another window
Yeah.
open, do you think?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. You know how I do. I thought I was in one, but maybe
Yeah. Close a few things. This
I
is where
just
sometimes when we're like in multiple
okay.
places.
All right.
This is like a little reset, a little reset.
All right.
So we are live in multiple platforms. We are also on Wisdom, which is one of our favorite platforms
Mm.
out there. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We have a good crowd in the listening lounge. We have Chris, Julie, Mike, Marco, Jenny, Christopher, Charlene. I have Oluti
Hey
Miriam.
y'all.
Mooney, Joseph, Michael, Babe, Abigail, and Anne Marie. I love seeing other people with Marie in their names. Do you have Marie in your name? No, you. There are so many people with
Nice.
Marie. So it's awesome having people listening on different platforms. So we also simultaneously on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm doing my British. I don't know what
Whoop,
that was.
whoop.
I don't know what so it's great to, you know, the work that we do, for me, it's about really spreading that message and making it the regular conversation we have, the way we talk about movies, the way we talk about the
Yes.
new place we're going to, where all wellness is a daily practice, all self-care is a daily practice. It's the thing we do without being literally forced or obligated to do it. And so just doing that
Yeah.
little bit every day. So I'm
A
glad
little
you
bit.
mentioned a little bit, like the bath was a beautiful thing, going outside is a beautiful thing. And I think those things would help with sleep. I think just the way sometimes, those rituals we set up for babies, I think they will be great for adults as well, right?
Yeah,
Just
me
if you're
too.
very active throughout the day, I think you would sleep much quicker. And
Yep.
actually, not just sleep, I think a lot of time, I don't think we're really getting good sleep, but thinking about restorative rest. Do you think you're
Really
getting good
taking the
sleep?
break. Yep. Yeah. I don't get that enough. I'm bad. This is a journey for me. This is not.
Love
I'm
it.
not at no destination. I'm bad with last night. It was 11 o'clock, and I had my timer set off that says you go to bed at 10:30. The chime came on, and I'm still up at 11:30. I'm like, why? Why? What you trying to prove? On my phone
You're on your
with the
phone.
light. I
You
was
scroll.
somewhere. I was somewhere, but I was where I was supposed to be. I was like woo sign. So I had trouble going to sleep. And then I wake up. First of all, I have trouble getting up. I have trouble going. So there's a balance I need to fix in my life. But and then what we do is we'll put it off. You say, well, I sleep the weekend. And I don't. I don't sleep the weekend because my boys are up early in the weekend. So we just gotta find the balance in our lives where we can get the rest that we need. The sleep. It's okay to just come home and go to
Mhm.
sleep. I'm telling myself this, y'all, because really I come home and I get right into action, cleaning up, um,
On
making
the go.
dinner, on the go. And today I planted seeds. Yes, I did. So I can see my seeds. These are um these are pepper seeds, green pepper, red pepper seeds from my green pepper and red pepper when I was cooking last week. Put them in
Nice.
some dirt today, and hopefully I'll show y'all something in a couple weeks.
Couple of weeks. We're gonna plant those soon. I love
Yeah,
that. Literally
yeah, so they
plant.
can sprout. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, I do the same thing. I have yellow, red, and green, and I think I'm probably just gonna do. Unlike yours are going in the ground. I'm doing
yeah,
container gardening, which is
right,
gonna be fascinating. So, but that's the other thing too, in terms of what do you do that really bring you joy, right? And I think a
yeah,
lot of us being outside is an option. Other people, you may not necessarily be outside, but also I know inside, one of the things that's part of my wellness coaching is really how to integrate plants as part of your self-care. And I know in your home you have plenty of plants, and people always see the moment the cameras turn on, I'm surrounded by plants. And since the last time we
yes. I
talked,
got a plant right there.
I want to show you. We're not doing show and tell today, but I added a bigger ZZ plant to the
ZZ,
ZZ.
see there.
Where's yours?
It's funny,
There.
ZZ, but it's funny because after the last time we spoke about these plants,
Mm-hmm.
this ZZ plant just got this, like we're talking about. He got a
Uh-huh.
whole new shoot. Okay, like talk about me now. Like I'm on all that. Like I said, wow,
I'm gonna show off because next time
yeah,
show and tell, because that's probably another event people have been asking me in connection with the planting seed journal, is to actually do a planting seed experience and having plants or show and tell plants. I've done plants where it's like bring your own plants. one plant that you want to show off. And I think I got some ivy. I think it's called like a hedera. I'm like hedera. Different accent come out depending on what I'm saying. So ivy, I'll probably put it outside when it's a little better. We have all kind of ivy, but I always keep them indoor
Oh,
first so they don't get shot before
okay.
putting anything outside. But it's this is a hedera ivy. We have so many
Ivy.
in the Boston area, so there's all kind of variety. So sometimes you're like ivy, and I'm like, well, which one is it? I know somebody's gonna be like, what kind is this? So we'll
Yeah.
do another planting seed series. We did one with Tracy a while back, and people love that show, and they were just like, let's do another one. And I know on Wisdom, when you're just doing audio, it's hard for people to imagine. But if you go on Instagram, this is the spot. So if you want to like see more of the plants, I'm planning
Right.
to do more wheels. Right now, everything is dried up, so I love taking before and after pictures. And it's the same for us. Even sometimes I'm thinking, let me take some pictures and see because you we don't appreciate the transformation, the process of truly planting
Down.
seeds to how things were before and what you yourself have been
Yep.
able to grow. And I think this is why sometimes I compare, self-care with plant care because you can see all the things you're doing in that process you should be doing for yourself,
Um,
right? And to see that growth, to see yourself like when you creating new healthy habits consistently and have
yeah.
accountability, like you should really not should, but really appreciate the journey that you're on and be able to say, oh my God, look how far I've come. Because sometimes
Yeah.
we think like I'm not doing enough, right? Like even today, just to bask in the fact that you decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a bath. It's in the middle of the, middle of the day for some people, but just to come home and
Right.
not start doing stuff instead of just doing something to like to feel
Yes.
good and relax. And but
Yeah.
I bet I would say to somebody do that because one of the things I know you do consistently, you can talk a little bit about what's the benefit of really taking time to breathe. Because sometimes it seems like a no-brainer. Like I'm already breathing. What are you talking about? Why is that important for us to really breathe
Yeah. I
differently?
breathe every day. I ain't breathe, I'll be dead. People say that and stuff like that. But
You know,
um, um, well, breathing. Well, of course, breathing has brought us life. I mean, that's the thing that so when you stop breathing, you no longer. But the quality of breath, like we can walk around having these short breaths all day long, and then our nervous system becomes more amplified. Or we could take deep breaths, breaths. I'm sorry, deep breathing. It controls our immune system. It helps improve circulation. It helps with digestion. There's so many benefits. It helps release stress and anxieties, and it just
mhm.
helps us in so many different ways when we really take deep breathing. And I hate to admit it, but I am an asthmatic. I have an inhaler. I don't see one, but but when I breathe right, and I'm not saying that, and just don't say the doctor told Dr. Renee said don't do my asthma pump, and you wind up in a hospital and say don't blame. No, don't say I said that. I'm just talking about for me. When I
Mhm.
breathe right, when I have time to breathe fresh air, and I really take my time breathing, I don't need that inhaler.
Okay.
So that just shows you like it's always a process. It's always having to. I mean, I'm growing. I'm learning. We all are learning on this journey, and you never can be at the 100% healthy because we fall back and I fall through whack all the time. I don't drink my water like I'm supposed to, but but I know it, right? And I know it, and I try to self correct it and fix it every time I notice it. Sometimes we're just busy and stuff, falls off and we don't gotta get back on the horse and
It
keep riding.
happens.
Yes.
So, but I think part of it is also thinking about how are we being more intentional? Because I know
Yeah.
for us, one of the reason I think last year you started your journey in terms of really thinking about your energy was not what you wanted it to be. When we first talking about you doing things differently, you were like, I'm not
Yeah.
drinking enough water, and then by midday you feel like, oh my God, I don't have any energy. And so I think it's great when people think about that one thing you want to
Right.
work on. That was the only thing I was just like, let's just work on you drinking, you got hooked into the
Water.
fizz. You're like, ooh, let me get me some fizz. And you are constantly now sipping on something or drinking water, making your smoothie. Um,
Yeah.
and some people will probably think it's easy for you because you're already like doing wellness stuff. You're already a yogi. Of
It's
course,
not.
you should be doing this. Why was that process differently in terms of now for you to really thinking about what you're putting in your body, what you're putting on your skin? Like, why was it important for you
Yeah.
to make that shift for yourself?
I don't know. It's like once you become conscious, like once you take a moment to really see what you need, like you identify there's a problem. Like I'm exhausted, you know, um, my skin, my heart palpitations, I'm gaining weight,
Mhm.
all this, particularly during COVID and that wasn't the only thing, but that was one of the things. Like I could see that I had gained some weight, lots of weight, and I couldn't wear my stuff. And I wasn't buying no new clothes. I said, I'm not doing that. No, you're gonna lose it. And so once you are conscious of like, these steps are wearing me out, or
Mhm.
these pants didn't fit this way last year, or this dress, I could fit this dress and now I can't fit this dress. Once you are conscious of, you say, okay, well, what are some things, list down some things that you do during the day. Like what is your rituals during the day? Do you get up stressed? Do you get up, drink water? Do you just get up and just run out the door? Even though I can't do that because I got twins. But do you just get up not thinking about what you need? Or do you go to bed not knowing what will you be eating the next day? That's a big thing for me. Because
Right.
me, I would just say, okay, well, I see this right here. I'm gonna eat this right here. Um, but then I don't plan out what I'm gonna take for lunch.
Mhm.
Or like today, I took for lunch raspberries, two bananas, and I think an orange, an apple, or something like that. That was my lunch today.
Okay.
And when I got home is when I haven't eaten dinner yet, but I'm going to have some soup today. I'll make some soup 'cause I like making soups. But I had a butter, like almond butter sandwich with some crackers. I said that's going to hold me until I take this bath, and then I'm gonna eat some dinner. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we just got to find what works for us. Find your strat. Find what works for you. And know that little shifts,
It
increasing the
is.
water, increasing the vegetables will help to bring change. Definitely.
I love that. And I think thinking of the small steps. And I mean, the program that we're doing. So a lot of time you choose where you want to start. Like I know you started with the healthy habits. Some people do a 30-day to healthy living program where you can think, and
Yeah.
sometimes I believe people think it's a challenge to focus on their health for 30 days.
30
30 days.
days.
And you're
Yeah.
like, you're worthy of that. Like for you to really take the time and say, considering it took us years to get to that point, but to really do
Ooh.
that health reset. Sometimes I do 14 days, right? Where it's like, okay, let's just
Yeah.
come up to it. But to think that you're not even willing to just do a little bit of something for the
But
next days to really create
yeah.
those habits. It's just, what do you think about that? Like, why do you think it's so challenging for people to say, let me make that commitment?
People like what they like, you know? And it's a shame, but it's true. We have to break the cycle of the things that we like. Because most of the things that we like, things that are bound from
Mm,
generation to generation. Like my mother used to eat, I hate these things though. Chitlins, never could get, even as a kid, I could never get into it. But my sisters and my brothers and everybody else does that. I
yeah.
mean, I don't think they do it now, but they will. But that beef and that pork and that, like when I think I was the first out of my family decided when I was like maybe 20 or something. I'm not eating that no more. When you get old enough, you can say that, but sitting at the table with your parents, when you can't say, well, I'm not eating that
Mm,
cow there. But you can decide and say, well, no, I'm not going. I'm gonna do something different. I was vegetarian for a little while. I was a vegan. Now I just try to have balance in my life. I don't eat red meat, but I do. Every now and then, I love a crab cake. I will do a crab cake, and that's my guilty pleasure. But
yeah.
that's it.
It's that bowl to
I may
me.
do a turkey. I'm sorry, a turkey burger too every now and then. But I'm just saying I don't do it all every day. So when we talk about habits, our habits have to be, I don't know, spread out. So say for example, you like a cheesesteak stuff from Captain Harvey's. I don't know if anybody from London. Be like cheesesteak stuff from Captain Harvey's. You can't wait on Fridays get you stay sub, because you're gonna
every
get
week.
paid. That's your money. That's your jam. I must encourage you to go the other way. Don't even go down Dr. Avenue.
Go the
Go
other
up there on Murray Boulevard and get, I don't know, a salad from Giants. I don't know, but just
That's a big
change
switch.
that.
You see, make make ease into that transition, right? And I think
Please. Yep.
ease into it because instead of something you do weekly, and that's one of the things I personally noticed, right? Because I made that switch in terms of really thinking about my health
Yeah.
inside and out. Because there are many people that we know you can look good, you can look a certain way and appear
Yep.
healthy. There's a difference between being healthy
And
and
appearing
appearing
healthy.
healthy, and two different things.
Yeah.
And also, it's not a reflection of the disease that we might be dealing with, whether medically and otherwise. And so, a lot of time we tolerate
Yeah.
things as a result of those bad habits that we have, but we can make that shift. And I think for
Yeah.
people, again, because some of those things are learned and passed down, and we are programmed and conditioned, at some point, I would say, well, as you were saying, to be conscious and be aware, you know what? I would like to change one of those habits. Like it doesn't have to be
That's right.
everything at the same time. So for me, one of the things, you don't know this yet, but we will be doing a health reset as part of our,
Okay.
the work that we do as wellness coach in terms of to really get people started, right? And that's the beauty
Yeah.
of planting seeds and thinking about season. You can always restart. You can always start over. You can always do it
Yeah.
as a community. And for me, thinking of again, you mentioned so many different things you were dealing with. For me, it was just migraines. I couldn't sleep, a lot of chronic pain,
Yeah.
inflammation, dealing with sciatica, dealing with just
Yeah.
general, and then a lot
Something.
of
Right.
smell stuff like sinus allergies, things I didn't even think
Oh
I
yeah.
would be affecting me, and making those changes where because of that switch that I made through the healthy living program is not doing dairy anymore. And I saw how, oh my God, the bloating that I was dealing with constantly,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
to make that switch and to learn, okay, what else can I do? And discovering things that's always been there, right? Who knew oat milk existed? I'm sure it's been here
I
the whole time.
know.
I had
Oat
no idea.
milk, cashew milk. It's so many different milks out there. I'm like, wow.
No
The
idea.
cow, the cow is wow. Like, wow, it's more things like me.
But it's such a learning experience, but I didn't rush into it, and I think I allowed my taste to adjust because when you cut down on sugar, on salt, and you started drinking more water, and you see how
Yep.
you feel. The thing people don't realize, it's not about going and doing, some diet for like 14 days, 30 days. Whatever changes I'm making now, I want to be able to sustain them into
Yeah.
I want to age well with those habits. That's how I want to put it. I want to age well, and I want to
That's
still have my vitality as I get older. I don't want to see getting older as an excuse for me to not be able to move, to think being getting older
yeah.
is equating that with pain, to think I'm not going to
Yeah.
be doing as much, right? And I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
acceptable because I grew up with, when you grew up this island life, I just want to get back to as soon as possible is the idea that I can move, I can get fresh air, I can be
Right.
outdoors, I can be in my garden, I can grow my food. That's the other thing where, I
Yep.
feel like I rediscover in terms of I don't have to be limited by space, where people think like you need to be on a farm or you need all these land, but little things I can do exactly where I'm at, right?
Yep.
Start where you are. Sometimes people
Yep.
think they have to do this big leap, and I'm like, it's really the small changes that can
It really
grow
is.
and have big impact. So to me, it's about the
Yeah.
starting small. The last thing we're going to cover today is we also have a love of journaling. I know you have a journal, two journals out there, and you have the mini journal. So pretty. And so share a little bit about how people can use journaling as part of their self-care.
Wow, glad you said that. Okay, so this journal was it was for me to kind of continue to make the shift to put me first. And when I created this journal I think it was last year. I decided that when I write down things about me to do, like when I write my market list or write my to-do list or my earn list, that I wanted to put a little bit of just me first on here. I wanted to be able to say, okay, what do I need to do for me? And then I can put my other errands. But I just wanted to be able to put myself on my list, Because sometimes we
Renee,
don't put ourselves on our list. So putting myself on my list, what I got to do. So that could be just like I could have put down here my bed, down here my what, just simple stuff. My walk to tomorrow, bike if it's a nice day, just making sure that I keep myself, and then that other stuff can come. And it's just a simple thing. It's like every day it's the same thing. We got to do the same thing every day. Yes, we do. Every day.
that's
Put
what we
ourselves
do.
first.
Of
Yes.
habits. And so one same thing every day, but keeping track of it. And I think it's a beautiful way to know this is what I'm gonna do. And the last point I'll make is the fact that people don't realize their day start the evening before. You think your day start when you wake up, but you create the day you're gonna have the night before, right? And I think the journal allows you to plan. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do for self? This is why now I'm asking
Yeah.
everyone on our program, what did you do for yourself today? Because a lot of
Yes.
times at the bottom of that list, whatever the list is, we're like, "Well, if I have time, if I still have energy, you do everything else, and then you're like, maybe I'll take that bath, or maybe
Yeah.
I'll go for that walk, or maybe I'll do some reading, or maybe I'll just pause."
I know.
The idea of just being still
Yep.
is getting challenging for us, right? And so I'm excited the journal
Yep.
is out there. People can get it on Amazon. Um,
Yep.
and
Yep.
the link is actually in the bios, depending on which platform you're on.
Yay.
Um, it's in the
Yes.
bio. Dr. Renee is on Instagram, where you can click away, one click away from just getting
Yes.
the journal on there. And so, what is one thing you're going to be doing differently as we're approaching this new season? I hear you planting seeds literally, but also thinking about what um, what else? What is one thing now because of what you know better now? What is one thing you're going to be doing differently to improve your health now that you know better?
I know better.
You know better. We're gonna do better,
Um,
right? So
I'm gonna plan my stuff. I gotta plan out my stuff. Like if I don't plan out my meals, if I don't plan out my hydration, I'm not gonna be successful, right? If I go like today, like what's it today or Wednesday? Let's say I went to school, I did not have a bottle of water. Now ask me why in a school that I just couldn't have access to water. I mean, there's a
right.
water fountain, but it's not near me. It's so far away from my classroom, and the water I don't know if we can drink that water from. So I'm just saying, like that basic thing, having that water, having a
Yeah,
water jug in my desk, like all the time, just having it around is everything for me. And then being able to get outside, I'm so excited. It's getting warmer.
it is. It
Woo,
is.
that's everything for me. Yeah. So those
So
two things I'd like to do. You know.
but for those who are listening, I'm hoping one of these tips work for you. Um, and use journaling as a way to do that. Use planners. Use something
Yep.
like we did that allows you, even the night before, to think about what am I going to do the next day. And all that is
Yeah.
part of your self care, part of really deciding: is it sleep? Is it having more energy? Is it all that to improve your health? I mean, we are reminding people that you
Yep.
are worthy. You are worthy. Like one of the affirmation in the planting seed journal is that I am worthy of a joyful and healthy lifestyle, right? And I think sometimes people think like, oh, that has to be hard work. I gotta earn it. It has to be a struggle. Doesn't have to be a struggle. Just a little bit
Mm-mm.
of
Not at
every
all.
day. And I'm hoping hearing from us and how we're doing it, we are not perfect.
Yeah.
We're still learning. We're still on that
Nope.
journey. So I encourage you click on those links. Both of us, we're on Instagram, we're on Wisdom, any of the platform, and we're definitely going to be coming up with more wellness challenges, especially as spring is coming on board for people to do a health reset. And we're going to be
Yeah.
doing that at the same time. So it's not just like we are coaching what we don't practice. We practice everything we are saying.
All the time.
We are saying we
Yes.
must.
Practice what we preach. Yes. We live in this thing out here, y'all.
Yes. And do it together as a community, which is the beautiful thing. It's been great this year. And I know you also want to teach more people about wellness. And I mean, we live it. It's
Yes.
both our business, it's a lifestyle. We do it because that's our calling, that's our work. And for me, it's all about that gift of showing, everyone, but for me, it's also really thinking about those who are overworked, overstressed, and burnout and still
Yes.
pushing through. And I'm like, nope, we need to do better. We need to think about how we're going to
Yep.
put ourselves first to improve our health. And
Yeah.
the idea that our health is non-negotiable. Like literally being healthy
Nope.
should not be optional. It is a
Yeah.
necessity to your well-being. And so, it's important for us to be well, whether,
Yes, it is.
pandemic and beyond the pandemic. And so, to let go of we have to struggle because for example, we're getting older. But the idea that the power is in us, we can make the decision the way today you decided, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna take a bath. And so we invite all of you to join us
Yes.
and let us know if you want to be part of this journey with us, to really enjoy it and see that process, and how it's gonna go. And so thank you for joining me today. It's been
Thank
amazing,
you for the invite.
spreading the joy and how important it is for us to practice self-care every day
Yeah.
unapologetically. I love saying that, and without unapologetically. I feel like I'm channeling Rihanna right now. Unapologetically. Self
Right.
care. Okay. So connect with us. We are on social media. We're on Wisdom. DM us if you and let us know if you want to be part of that. We're gonna be doing it's 30-day. I was gonna do 30-day. I think we are worthy of a 30-day health reset. And we're gonna
Okay.
do a 30-day to healthy living program together together. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you everyone for tuning
Sounds
in.
good.
It's we are excited. And of course you can join us and we're gonna be sharing more. And we're gonna be
Yes.
practicing and letting you know how we are doing. But always the journal, get the journal. That's a tool that you can use every single day. And we
Yes.
created journals, those journals for you to use them, for you to make sure
Yep.
that you have that tool, right? Because sometimes we're like, I don't know where to start. That's a way to start. And then we
There
can
it
continue
is.
that together. So thank you, Dr. Renee. And I'm going to be
Thank
taking up a little
you.
bit more. We got that bottled
My
water, the milk.
pleasure.
Okay. So we'll see you next time, everyone. And take a little time to just do one thing for your self care.
One thing. One
One thing.
thing.
That's it. That's it. Good
Yep.
night. Good night, wherever you are.
Wherever you are. Good night.
Wherever.